Welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. In today's video, we have another offseason rebuild, and today we have the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers went 54-28 over this past regular season. They were the 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, and like they always do, they make it to the second round and inevitably get bounced. I mean, there's 3 guarantees in life, right? There's death, there's taxes, and there's the 76ers losing the second round. You know, for me, I honestly thought it was going to be a little bit different this year. Even as a Celtics fan, I was fully preparing for some sort of disappointment. And I don't really know why I was, because albeit they went to 7 games, when the team needed them the most, Joel Embiid and James Harden shrunk in the moment. They did that for not the first time, not the second time, but it's something they've both notably done throughout their playoff careers. And now the future of the Philadelphia 76ers is in a very, very confusing state. We are going to go ahead, hopefully do our best to turn it around today and get this team a championship. As always, if you guys are new around here, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you here in the community. Of course, if you guys do have other video ideas, let me know those all down below in the comment section. I want to let you guys know now, I'm recording this on Monday, May, what are we at, 15th right now. I am going to be pre-recording a whole bunch of videos because I'm not going to be here the entirety of next week, and I do not want to miss a day of uploading. So I'm basically recording 2 a days this entire week. So yeah, if something happens in the league that, you know, I'm not able to make a video on quickly, I apologize. I'll get to it in 2 weeks. But you'll have a video every day. I just wanted to let you guys know that. And yeah, man, that pretty much wraps this one up. We're going to talk about the Sixers once we get more into this actual rebuild, but it's a tricky offseason for them coming up. I can feel it. Let's get into it. So I know I might have some people watching this video that aren't typically watching my videos, or this is your first time seeing it. And if you do, I want to make it abundantly clear this is not a realistic rebuild. I'm going to make some moves that are super unrealistic. I'm just putting that out there now. Let's dive into this roster in the entirety of it. We're going to take a deep look at this. James Harden, I know I just kind of went off a little bit about him. I don't understand how he can look so good one night and then so bad another. I mean, it's just insane. And nobody, like in the the Sixers organization, or none of the fans we're not expecting MVP James Harden, right? You know, we're not expecting that, but just have a competent performance. Give me 20 and 10. That's you. That's James Harden. And he didn't do that in 2 of the most important games. And ultimately, you had the chance to put him away, and James Harden was probably one of the biggest reasons why they didn't. Shake Milton didn't get a ton of playing time throughout the series. Here in 2K, he's a 78 overall. He's 26 years old. It's not a terrible backup point guard option. Shooting guard spot, I thought maybe one of the brightest things in this entire series for the Sixers was the play of Tyrese Maxey. He has historically struggled against the Celtics. I believe he's averaged like 8 points a game against them in all the games he's played up to this point until the playoffs, and he performed pretty well for the majority of the series. So I give him credit. I would not be surprised if this was one of the biggest pieces Philadelphia keeps this offseason. Not that they were going to move him, but you know what I'm saying. And try to maybe put some pieces around him. I don't think he's a number 1, but I think he's a really, really competent number 2 at some point in time. And again, only 22 years old. We have De'Anthony Melton, who's going to be on a 1-year contract. We'll see what route we go with him, but 25 years old, 80 overall. I can live with that. We have Jaden Springer and Ferdinand Korkmaz, neither of which really played too much in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Tobias Harris, who is, I don't know who's going to take that contract. I believe it expires after this next season coming up. So maybe somebody takes a flyer, but I don't think you're getting anything of value, or at least not anything that's better than Tobias Harris, as weird as that sounds. Jalen McDaniels is here. Not a guy that played a ton as well, but 25 years old, 78 overall. Daniel House, interesting piece there for me. PJ Tucker came up big in some moments. You know, the moment, I forget what game it was exactly, but the one where he, like, shoot Embiid's ear off, just, like, telling him to, like, lock it the fuck in, and then they ended up playing really well after that. And PJ Tucker honestly had a great start to Game 7, and then just couldn't hit a 3 after that. But honestly, I don't know if 38-year-old here in 2K is going to work out for me too well. Georges Niang can actually go fuck himself. He got Jaylen Brown a technical for no goddamn reason. Piece of shit player. And then the MVP. The MVP who was a very deserving regular season MVP. You can have the argument about whether him or Jokic was better in the regular season. Obviously, Jokic has been way better in the playoffs. I'm not getting into the regular season conversation right now. I don't understand how, similarly to Harden, that he'll have some games where he'll look great and some games where he'll just completely suck ass. I think he had 1 rebound in the first half, and they were only down 3, which is crazy at halftime. I don't know. He also looked just completely gassed for a lot of the second half. And I'll be interested to see, because he's obviously on a pretty long-term deal right now. I don't know if he'll request a trade at some point. If Harden leaves and you really can't find a competent piece to put him next to, or a competent number 2, I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility of moving on from Joel Embiid. And I know that's crazy, crazy, crazy to say, potentially, and obviously it's a lot easier said than done, but he's pushing 30, and he's never been out of the second round. Look in the goddamn mirror. I mean, Philly. I mean, come on. What are we doing? You got Paul Reed, gave you some decent minutes. Montrezl Harrell, I don't think, stepped on the court, and then Dwayne Dedmon very similarly. So this is a very, very decent team on paper. Ultimately, the moment was too big for them, and that sucks, because I feel bad for Philly fans. I really do. The majority of them anyway. Some of them are scumbags. But let's get into it right now. This is going to be a very, very important offseason for us. By no means am I just going to let James Harden walk out the door. Number one thing we will be doing right now is firing Doc Rivers into the sun. And I will say this. Doc Rivers has been a head coach in this league for a very, very, very long time. I have never seen, and this upcoming statement is going to hurt me to say because I'm a Celtics fan. I've never seen somebody milk one championship so much as Doc Rivers had. He's inside the league, according to people. He's one of the most respected people. And for what? I mean, you have 3, probably 4 Hall of Famers on that '08 Celtics team, and you have not done shit. You are just blowing lead after lead, and it's asinine to me. I don't get how he does it every single time, but he's out the door. I think he'll be out the door in real life as well. The unfortunate thing is it's not a great coaching market right now, but honestly, I don't think it could get much worse. So he's gone here. He'll probably be gone in real life. In terms of the draft, we don't have a first-round pick. We don't have a ton of future assets as well. Again, just a tricky spot to be in, but at least we do have, some really decent players here. All right, so Harden declines. Really not surprised. Obviously, Maxey coming back. Harrell and House pick up their options. We'll bring back Springer as well. So, as I mentioned, I'm not just going to let James Harden walk out the door right now. I'm not going to do that because, honestly, I think that would be completely idiotic. I don't think we have a way to replace him. He has 11 offers. 3 are real offers, including one from the Utah Jazz for almost $200 million. We're going to go ahead and pay him because I don't know. I can't just let him go. Again, I know I opened the video with this. This is not a realistic rebuild. Hell, there's a strong possibility I trade this man right now. But, yeah, can't just let him go. Shake Milton is somebody I wouldn't mind bringing back, about $7.5 million a year, and then same with McDaniels, what's 15, almost 16 million bucks a year. That's a whole lot of money. That is definitely a lot of money. And then, obviously, we're going to have to wait on Paul Reed as well. He's a very, very decent backup center option. So, we'll wait on him. I believe he is restricted, and we're not going to renounce his rights, but we're going to get Harden back, and then we're going to go from there. Because, yeah, ultimately, I have to find at least a decent enough trade for him. I mean, I don't know what my options are going to be. Obviously, James Harden is just an incredible, regular season player, but I don't know. We'll find it. See you guys with a move. We're making this trade with the Sacramento Kings. We are sending them James Harden for De'Aaron Fox and Rashawn Holmes. De'Aaron Fox is 25 years old. He just won Clutch Player of the Year. I don't know why we have to have an award for everything, but yeah, he's coming in here, and he's going to be here the entire time. He's making less money, and he's not going to regress. He's going to progress, if anything. So, James, I'd thank you for your service here, but honestly, you really didn't accomplish much. So, welcome to the team, De'Aaron Fox. I'm very, very excited to have him here. He's going to be a great, great young point guard to build around. We're definitely not done making trades, though. I think we need a clear-cut upgrade at the small forward spot and definitely a clear-cut upgrade at the power forward spot. I don't know if P.J. Tucker retired. It looked like he did because he was under contract still, and I don't see him here now, so I'm assuming that he probably called it a career. Let me just double-check. And maybe not. Oh, yeah, he did. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, we just pulled off a major, major trade with the Atlanta Hawks, and it was not one that I thought was going to go through, but we got it done. We sent them Tobias Harris, Jaden Springer, Rashawn Holmes, and our only first-round pick we have available to trade right now for John Collins and Bogdan Bogdanovic. Now, this is not a home run deal by any means, but I am excited to see what John Collins can potentially do on a new team. We needed a power forward very badly. We got one here in John Collins. And then in terms of acquiring Bogdanovic, I think I'm just going to turn around and flip him. He's 30 years old. We're very, very comfortable at our shooting guard spot. And yeah, there's a real possibility I need to go find myself a new small forward. We're making a trade here with the Los Angeles Clippers, sending them Bogdan Bogdanovic, Jalen McDaniels, and Daniil House for Norman Powell and Marcus Morris Sr. Norman Powell is going to come in. He's going to be my new starting small forward. It's not a crazy upgrade by any means, but he's on a long-term contract, and he is definitely going to be expendable in the offseason. And we have finally solidified our starting 5 for the start of year 1. So at this point in time, I'm going to probably be moving both Morris and Harrell. I don't really see either of them as long-term options here, along with Korkmaz, who, honestly, $5 million is just an unnecessary contract. And try to reacquire some assets, because obviously we don't have a lot right now, and I would like to be able to go ahead and definitely maximize the assets that we do have. So if I can find a backup anywhere, I'll probably do it. If not, that's 2 first-round picks right there from the Kings. So I believe I need to find a new backup power forward. We have Paul Reed to back up Embiid, and we need a new backup small forward as well. So small forward and power forward right now, or I'm just going to take the draft picks. Oklahoma City, though, that's a Clippers unprotected first. That might be valuable, actually. And then, let's see, Marcus Morris Sr. Let's see, 2 first-round picks here. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Acquired some assets. We've made some changes. We need to sign a backup 3 and a 4, and then I'll get Paul Reed back as well. TJ Warren wouldn't be a bad piece for me off the bench. He's 29 years old. Could definitely be a lot worse. And the power forward spot's going to be interesting what our options are. They're not great. I don't love any of them, to be honest with you. I guess Javonte Green we can survive Javonte Green for 2 years. Okay, so at this point in time, I will get Paul Reed back on his qualifying most likely. This team didn't get crazy better or really do that much in terms of really taking that next step. But I think we've really laid a good foundation. I think we'll have some decent success down the line. So I'm going to get Paul Reed back. I'll see you guys at the start of year 1. We had a pretty busy first offseason here in Philadelphia, and I think it was a busy offseason that really needed to happen. We've completely changed the identity of this team. We're out with the guys we didn't want here anymore, and honestly, we have the guys that we do want to keep here. So here's how it's going to look. Are we championship contenders right now? I don't know, but we'll find out in due time. It's going to be De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Maxey, insanely fast backcourt. These might be 2 of the fastest players in the NBA. Norman Powell has regressed a little bit. Kind of expected that. He probably won't be here more than 1 year, but as of now, I'm very comfortable with him as my starting 3. John Collins up to an 84 overall. You love to see it. And then obviously Embiid. And for those of you saying, why didn't you trade Embiid? There's 2 reasons. 1, this is an unrealistic rebuild. And 2, I don't play with injuries on. So we're good. The bench unit's okay. It's Anthony Melton, TJ Warren, Paul Reed, Shake Milton, and Javonte Green. So I honestly, I don't know what this team is. We're going to find out in just a little bit. But you know what? I can see us anywhere from a 1 to like a 5 or 6 seed. So we'll find out. I'll see you guys at the end of the first season. Year 1 ends, and we finish with a record of 53-29. We're technically 1 game worse than last year, but we're kind of on par with the way I thought this rebuild was going to go. You got Jason Tatum winning an MVP, the man who dropped the most points in a Game 7 in NBA playoff history. You honestly love to see it. Victor Wembanyama is your Rookie of the Year. He went to Houston. They ended up with the number 2 overall pick. Fell to number 2. Interesting. Scoot Henderson's wins 6th Man of the Year. They took him 5th overall in Charlotte. Honestly, him at 5 feels like a steal. I don't know how him and LaMelo would pair up in a backcourt, but nonetheless, he is there, winning 6th Man of the Year in his rookie season. Nick Claxton, Defensive Player of the Year. Tyler Hero, Most Improved. Quinn Snyder takes home Coach of the Year. So let's take a full look at the standings. We finish as the 4th seed here in the Eastern Conference. We have Detroit in round 1. Hopefully not a terribly tough first-round matchup. Take a look at the numbers right now. Embiid was extremely dominant. I mean, as you expect, he's a tremendous player. De'Aaron Fox was good. Tyrese Maxey hopefully can continue to take the next step. Norman Powell, John Collins, Warren, Melton, Reed, Milton, and Green. Rebounds was Embiid, and assists was Fox. So, as I mentioned, we have Detroit here in round 1. Young, up-and-coming team, but I had Kristaps Porzingis. I do think we're a better team. I really do. We definitely have the best player in the series, and overall-wise, I think we should be winning this one with some ease. We do that. We win in 5. We have Atlanta here in round 2. They have Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, AJ Griffin, Jalen Johnson, Clint Capella. Obviously, we made the deal for John Collins. This is one of those 2K teams that 2K is a big fan of, as I'm sure many of you do know. And let's see, can we get out of round 2? I mean, is it going to be a possibility? We're down 3-2 right now, going to Game 7, and that is all she wrote. The round 2 woes continue here in year 1. I'm not even going to get into a conversation about Ja Morant right now, but good God, man. I mean, it's just disappointing, honestly. Cavs go on to win it all. Donovan Mitchell at age 27 averages 39 points, 4.5 boards, 6.5 assists, and wins Finals MVP. Well, that's very, very deserved, and the Cavs win the championship in year 1. So, it is time for the lottery. I don't know if... Oh, I see a Sixers logo, so that's from the Clippers, so could be valuable potentially. We'll find out what ends up happening. And it is there at number 8, which honestly isn't bad. I think we got it for I don't know, Montrezl Harrell or something. Basically nothing. We're good with Stauffer, obviously perfect ratings. Let's head up to the draft, see what we want to consider at this point. There's a couple different directions we can go. We can maybe draft a replacement small forward. We can maybe include the pick in a trade. I don't know what route I'm going to go next, but obviously I'll show you guys when I figure it out. I would love nothing more than to try to add Mikal Bridges to this team. He'd come in, be a clear-cut upgrade at the small forward spot, and honestly, I think it'd be a home run of a deal. So I don't think this is going to be easy by any means. It's going to take a lot of work, and we don't really have a lot of contracts we can throw in here. If you want Javonte Green, you can have him. I don't know if they will, though. And then how about you just want 2 seconds? Would you take that? No. Okay. It's probably going to take at least one more first. I'm hoping I can get this to go through. Actually, I kind of want to keep the Kings pick. Sometimes they suck, and it's really weird. They suck for, like, no reason. So I'll do a 2027 Kings first. I agree to that. We officially add Mikal Bridges to this team. Once upon a time was a Philadelphia 76er, albeit for a very, very short amount of time. But he was just for a minute. But, yeah, man, I'm super excited to have him here. He's obviously an NBA Iron Man, and, yeah, just overall a really good player. So he's going to come in and be my new starting small forward. That basically completes my starting lineup. We decide not to draft anybody. In terms of these second-round picks, I just don't really need them. So can we just move them for some future second-round picks, I guess? We can. So cool. All right. Thank you very much, Cavs. All right. Let's head up to team player options right now, see what we have. It is going to be nobody. In terms of free agents, I think we have, Maxey, Paul Reed, and I know we have D'Anthony Melton as well. So pretty big free agency class for us. Obviously, we don't really want to lose any of those guys. They're all pretty important for us. So Maxey, I'm going to wait to give him a real offer. And then Melton, somebody I would like to bring back. He's not a bad bench piece for me. He was my 6th man last year. And, yeah, Tyrese Maxey, I'll get him back as well. So we're not going to renounce Paul Reed. We obviously would like to get him back. He's a good backup big man. We're going to wait one more day on Maxey. And I think we're in a pretty good spot right now. I'm feeling pretty good. I honestly am. So we're going to see what Paul Reed asks for. We don't have bird rights on him. I don't know if it's going to let me if I just look him up. Just see if it's going to let me. No, it's not. Okay, so I'll wait on him to accept a qualifying offer or another team's offer. It'll let me match it. At this point in time, I'm iffy on TJ Warren. I think maybe getting an upgrade wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. We definitely gave up some decent depth to go ahead and acquire Bridges, but honestly, I think it was a good move. Bones Highland's here. I don't really want to give up a first. Clint Capella's here. I don't need a backup big man, but goddamn. Lonnie Walker. Yeah, you know what? He's 5 years younger. Lonnie Walker, honestly, stepped up in some big moments for the Lakers. So Lonnie Walker will be the backup here to Bridges. We need to find a new backup 4, and we need a new backup 1 as well. So we need a point guard and a power forward. TJ McConnell, bring him back to Philly. In terms of 4s, you know what? Give me Dorian Finney-Smith. Provide some good defense for me, and honestly, it could be a little bit worse. So Dorian Finney-Smith will come in here, and then in terms of the point guard spot, our options are not very good. Honestly, I'm going to sign like Josh Richardson and then trade him. Josh Richardson was once upon a time a 76er. I don't really see any of those guys that we had there as great options. So Josh Richardson, get me a point guard, please. Literally anybody. Doesn't need to be anybody. Spectacular. Seriously? Okay. You know what? Let me try to flip Sam Hauser for a different point guard. I think I'll get one of these to go through at some point. I really do. Sam Hauser, elite 3-point shooter. No. Nothing. Not a single point guard. All right. Well, I don't want to be a scumbag because obviously I just signed, Richardson to get a point guard and I couldn't do that. So I'm not going to take a first-round pick for an asset. I mean, this is not a realistic rebuild, but even that feels a little bit too unrealistic. I don't need anybody great, honestly. Give me Aaron Holiday. I'll take a flyer on Aaron Holiday. I'll be a backup to De'Aaron Fox. I'll wait on Paul Reed, and I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. After a pretty fun offseason, I'm honestly feeling pretty good right now. We made a huge upgrade with Mikal Bridges. He's here. This starting lineup coming together quite nicely. I think if we don't win it all this year, what I'm really going to be focused on next offseason is our bench unit, because I'm very comfortable with this starting 5 right now, and here's how it's looking. Here's how it's looking. It's De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Maxey, Mikal Bridges, John Collins, and Joel Embiid. The bench unit's D'Anthony Melton, B-Ball, Paul Reed, Lonnie Walker, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Aaron Holiday. So I don't love, Aaron Holiday being in here at a 73 overall, but honestly, it could be worse. It has been worse before. So I'm feeling good right now, man. Let's see if we can get out of the second round, maybe win a championship. 68-14 here at the end of year 2, obviously, assuming that's good enough for a 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference, and hopefully a little bit more of playoff success. Ja Wilkes-Booth is your MVP, 32.5 points, 6.5 boards, 11.5 assists. He's good. Obviously, we don't play with injuries or unforeseen circumstances on in this game. Leonard Miller is your Rookie of the Year. He went 21st overall to Brooklyn. pretty impressive rookie campaign. Anthony Simon, 6th Man of the Year in Portland. Anthony Davis, Defensive Player of the Year in LA. Brandon Miller, Most Improved. And Stauffer is going to take home Coach of the Year with those 68 wins. All right, so we're in a good spot, but the Sixers have been in a lot of good spots before, and not really a lot of good end results. So let's hope this one's a little bit different. Here's a look at the numbers: Embiid, Fox, Maxey, Bridges, Collins, Melton. I mean, everything looks good. Everything looks like it's shaping up for a long postseason run. Let's see if we can do it. Markelle Fultz has found a new home in Toronto. You have OG Anunoby, still Scotty Barnes. They've lost Pascal Siakam. I don't know. Doesn't really move me too much. We win in 5. Detroit's the team we beat in round 1 last year. They have our old friend Tobias Harris, or well, I guess almost their old friend at this point, because Tobias Harris, once upon a time was the Detroit Piston. And yeah, it's still a good team. I really do think we're better in basically all aspects. We're up 3-0, 3-1. Thank you. We're out of the second round. We are on to the Eastern Conference Finals, taking on the defending champions here in the Cleveland Cavaliers. Obviously an incredible team. 2K is a very big fan of them. And yeah, let's see if we can knock off the defending champs and hopefully go on to the finals. We're currently up 3-1, and we're in the finals. We're taking on Mr. John Moran himself. De'Aaron Fox is your Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Here's a look at the Grizzlies. Yeah, whoa. Let me get this straight. You have a 7-foot-tall Karl Anthony Towns, who, albeit his position is listed technically as a power forward because he played next to the French baguette when he was in Minnesota, but you're telling me you're not going to start him at center over Andre Drummond, who I give credit to is a tremendous rebounding center. But come on, what are we doing, 2K? Come on, what are we doing? We're down 2-0, right? Okay, that's not the way I thought this would go, and we're going to Game 7. Huh. Well, I'll be. We go down 3-0 to winning it all. Who would have thought with this team? I don't know. You know what? I give a lot of credit here. I'm surprised Embiid didn't at least win one of the, MVPs in terms of, Eastern Conference Finals or NBA Finals. But hey, De'Aaron Fox looking like he's our guy right now, and I'm very happy with that. All right, draft lottery time. Yeah, I don't see anything for us here in Philly, so it's fine. And yeah, let's just, I don't know. I'm feeling really good right now. Honestly, I knew we were going to be a good team. I didn't think we had what it takes to come back from being down 3-0, but hell, man, I will take it. I'm not going to use our second round pick this year, so we're not drafting anybody today, but honestly, that's fine. John Collins declines. He's been good for us. He's somebody I'd like to get back. Talk about bust. What the fuck happened to Jared Culver? And then free agency. Free agency is here. John Collins is basically our one free agent. I believe that Paul Reed's also free agent, but he's not. Yeah, that's going to be tricky because actually we basically lost all of our depth. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get like Lonnie Walker back, but I definitely do want to make sure I get John Collins back. Yeah, I'd like to get Reed and Walker back. I just don't know if I'm going to have the money to do it. So it's going to let me offer Lonnie Walker. It's not going to let me offer Paul Reed, unfortunately. So I will wait and just double check that it's not going to let me bring back Paul Reed. But honestly, it's a backup center playing 14 minutes a night. It's not the end of the world if I end up losing him. So just to confirm, yeah, no. Paul Reed is gone, but I'm really happy that we were able to get him, a championship here, and he'd obviously help contribute to it. So I need a new backup point guard, and I need a new backup center. Cameron Payne is one of the only guys that showed up for that Game 6 for the Suns against Phoenix. Suns against Denver. In terms of backup center options, honestly, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sign Chris Boucher, and then I think he's somebody I maybe move and go out and maybe get somebody else. And then the point guard spot, we've obviously lost some ability. But honestly, I'll take a flyer on Ty Jerome. He's 76 overall. Why the hell not? All right, interesting spot right now. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to move Boucher for a backup center of some sort. It does not need to be anybody tremendous. And then honestly, maybe I'll try to move Ty Jerome as well. Jonas Valanciunas is 33. He's not a terrible option, though. He's really not. I mean, if I don't find anybody else better, you know what? Let's take Jonas Valanciunas. He'll definitely be a lower overall by the start of next season, but he's a backup center. It's not that big of a deal. And then at this point in time, son of a bitch, I'm going to also be moving Ty Jerome, and we just acquired Luke Kennard and another first-round pick. And he upgraded the backup point guard spot. I would be happy to take it. Anthony Black's an option for me. Wow. Not a point guard, but still. Seriously? I mean, they're only making $4 million combined. It's really, obviously, not a lot of flexibility there. These are... Ooh, Jared Butler. Actually, just had a great season. You know what? Yeah, let's take Jared Butler. All right, cool. We've basically reshaped the bench a little bit, but this is a really, really good team. I want to run it back. I'll see you guys at the start of year 3. Last year we won 68 games and came back from being down 3-0 in the finals to win it all. I want to do it again. I don't want maybe necessarily that path, but I'd like to win a second straight championship, and honestly, I think we have the talent to do it. Here's how it looks. It's De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Maxey, Mikal Bridges, John Collins, and Joel Embiid. Benching is going to be DeAnthony Melton, Lonnie Walker, Dorian Finney-Smith, Jared Butler, and then Jonas Valanciunas. So, I mean, everything's shaping together really, really well. The bench isn't incredible, but it's not a terrible bench by any means, and I'm feeling good. Let's go see if we can maybe break our wins record and get a second championship. Unfortunately, we do not break our own win record. We obviously won 68 games last year. This year we win 60, but that's still a very good season. We have a very, very big playoff run coming up. Darius Garland is your MVP. We have Jason as Moto Rookie of the Year. I don't think I've ever seen him win one before, so cool to see somebody new doing it. Amon Thompson, Sixth Man of the Year. Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player of the Year. Amon Thompson also wins Most Improved. David Johnson, Coach of the Year. I wonder who he's the head coach of. Maybe the Rockets? I don't know. We'll find out. It's definitely the Rockets, as they take the 1 seed over there in the West, and we are the 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference. So, yeah, I mean, everything's kind of similar and kind of on par with how it's been for the majority of this video, and let's go ahead and compete for another championship. We have the 8 seed Miami Heat here in round 1, still going strong with Jimmy, Bam, Hero. They have Scary Terry off the bench. All right, let's see what happens. I think we're the better team. We definitely have the best player. Maybe not in the playoffs. I don't know. Playoff Jimmy's obviously different. But we're good now, and we have the Cleveland Cavaliers here in round 2. Not a fun team to play. They honestly, you can make an argument that they might be better than us, but we're up 3-0, and hopefully we don't blow a 3-0 lead. We sweep them. Moving on to Detroit, who we've beat now twice in this video. They've added Devin Vassell to their team. Pretty good addition, obviously. Amon Thompson. I feel like you got to find a way to get him into the starting lineup. I mean, play Ivy at the. I mean, I don't even know. Play one of them at the 3. It doesn't really matter in today's NBA. We are 1-1 with them. We go down 2-1, down 3-1. All right. Okay. Game 7. No, we lose. All right. Well, obviously not the way you want to end the video. But did I just watch a blown 3-1 lead by the Pistons? Good God. Not the way you want to end a video, but nonetheless, we still built an incredible team with, kind of what we had, 490 overalls and a championship. So I enjoyed this one. Sixers fans, I hope I gave you some enjoyment, I guess, at this point in time. I honestly, I don't know the direction of this 76ers team this offseason, because it's not like, it would be one thing if they had, Embiid and Harden and, and Harris and Maxey. And, the problem is that they're kind of at two ends of the spectrum. You have guys like Joel Embiid and James Harden and Tobias Harris, who are all at the age that, you don't really have time to watch a lot of young guys develop. And there's also the argument that Philadelphia only has really one young player that's actually really significant, and that's Tyrese Maxey. And you don't want to move him at this point, try to get somebody that's more ready to win now, I guess. So it's a really tricky spot to be in. I think a lot of this Sixers offseason is going to be determined about the route and the path that James Harden decides. I would not be surprised if he ended up back in Houston, because honestly, I hate to say it, I think he cares a lot more about just being happy and vibing and having a good time and than he does winning. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, at the end of the day, not everybody seriously cares that much about winning a championship. So if Harden's happy, man, and he wants to go back to Houston, I don't discredit him. He's obviously been an unbelievable player, and he honestly, I hope he gets one day, but I don't know if it'll be in Philly. So I think that James Harden decision is going to basically translate the rest of the 76ers offseason for them. I think maybe moving on from Tobias Harris is something you could try to do. I don't know who would take that deal for one season. I'm sure there's somebody out there. But other than that, send Doc Rivers to fucking Saturn. I mean, they just get rid of him. I don't care how much it costs you, but get him the fuck out. I would fire that entire front office. I really would. Hire me. Put me in charge. I'll fix you right up. All right, so other than that, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comments section. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier in this video, I'm going to be gone the entirety of next week. Literally will not be making one video, so I am doing 2-a-days right now this week in order to hopefully have 5 videos for you next week. So if anything crazy happens next week and I'm not here to make a video for it, I promise you there'll be one the week after. But other than that, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.